Hey folks, welcome back. The Bolivar update has just released a couple days ago, and alongside of it has come a new culture pack, Cultures of Latin America. Now, luckily, being someone who's fairly plugged in, I managed to snag a free copy off the Games Together website, but I don't think there are any keys available anymore. However, I will say that the cultures, based on what I've looked at, do seem better designs than the ones in the African culture pack overall. I think a lot of those cultures could use another look at, particularly cultures like the Ethiopians are not in a great spot, in my opinion. Anyway, we're going to be doing another Let's Play, and this is with the Bolivar update, of course, and with all the new cultures. You can see I was doing some experimenting. This is the Mississippian outfit, which is not part of the DLC, but was unlocked through a community challenge. Now, as far as the world settings, kind of the defaults have changed a little bit. I'm going to have New World off this time and just be playing on a standard 2 continents. All the other settings are normal. And I think something important to point out is that with the Bolivar update, the way luxury resources are distributed has changed pretty dramatically. So luxury resource distribution is now on spread as a default. This is a new option. So before, it would have been clustered. This was kind of the standard generation, and this is what we're used to in previous versions of the game, where all of the same luxury resource tends to be clustered in one area. So if you had ebony, for instance, it is very likely that you had multiple ebonies spread out within the area that you spawned in. On spread, that is no longer the case. The resources are now more or less evenly distributed across the map. So you're unlikely to have a monopoly on a given resource, which I think is good. It really advantaged certain players at the start of the game if you had some of the really good early luxuries, and disadvantaged some other players if you had something like coffee, for instance, which is a pretty terrible luxury. So on spread, that helps with that. There is a setting in between called natural, and I'm sure I'll experiment with that at a later point. I think that could be fun. But for now, we're going to leave it on spread. And of course, we are playing on normal difficulty on humankind. Now, you can turn pollution effects on or off. It seems like they are off by default. So I'm not sure. Apparently, pollution's still in the game if you have pollution off. But it doesn't have an effect, so I'm not sure why it is counted at all. That doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to hop right into the game, and I'm going to talk through the loading screen a little bit about pollution, because with pollution being off, if you're playing a game with pollution off, it's going to substantially affect how you approach the game, right? There are a lot of technologies and infrastructures that you avoid because of the pollution producing effects. So for instance, coal plants are something like that. You typically don't build coal plants because they dramatically increase the amount of pollution that you are producing. Now, you'll probably build those if you have pollution turned off, if there's no negative effect to having pollution. All right, so here's our starting location, and doesn't seem great. So that's the north side of the map up there. So we're going to want to come down this way. Yeah, this is kind of what I was worried about. Usually when you get a spawn like this, you're kind of going to be terrain restricted a little bit. It's really too bad I can't get on that river in one turn. But I think that's the way I need to go. Okay, so just had a bunch of stuff spawn. We're going to go back and get this food. And then we'll split and have one guy come this way and the other guy kind of go off that way. Interesting, there's papyrus right there. I really like having papyrus at the start of the game. So papyrus gives you +3 science on city center and +3 science on administrative outpost or administrative center, whatever you call it. Okay, more food. Grab that. There we go. And aha, this is a new event. So you can basically you can choose between. I think this is a new event at least. I didn't see this until the Bolivar update. I'm not sure if this comes from Bolivar or if this comes from the Cultures of Latin America pack. But either way, you can basically choose between getting a free tribesman, a free or tribeswoman, free tribe, whatever it's called, plus 20 to influence, which basically lets you put down outposts, or you can get plus 1 combat strength on your units for 10 turns. I like having an extra unit personally. I think also this territory down here seems like it's going to be really damn good for a starting territory. Look at that, Ebony 2. Oh, this is a very good start. So definitely going to have an outpost down here. Oh, and there's salt up here too. I'm getting a lot of the really good early game luxuries here. I'm going to take a small hit to industry to get a little extra food in that location. It is important to have population early on too. It's not just about your industry. Okay, let's grab that encampment there. So as you can see with the luxuries, right, there's a pretty wide variety of luxuries available to me. Rather than just like the 1 or 2 repeating forever that you might have at the start. And that's really going to affect how you play the game. Because like sometimes, you know, you might be like, oh, I have 4 gemstones. I'm just going to play the Nubians, right? And go absolutely crazy. And it's not that straightforward anymore. All right. Still not sure who I'll take. I mean, it's going to depend on who's available. I haven't had the fastest start here. Let's go ahead and kill this deer. I think they give 5 influence, right? I usually don't go after deer, but sometimes it's worth it. I was hoping they'd cycle down onto the low ground. Sometimes they do stuff like that, but we'll go up behind them. Yeah, plus 5 influence and plus 5 food. Okay. That's sage. Wow, so this is great for... This territory here is going to be really good for getting me some food in my cities as well as having 2 strategics. I don't want to claim this one right away, I don't think. I think my second outpost is going to be one that's closer here, so I'll have an early territory I can attach. Okay, can't really hunt that mammoth right now with just this one injured tribe. I'm going to explore out this way, get a vision of as much stuff as I can. What's this? I'm going to go ahead and get that extra party here, extra tribe. Like I said before, I like having as many as possible. And I'm, yeah, 1 away from the growth star. Looks like someone got selected. So the Carolines, I believe they're pronounced. It's one of the new ones. We'll talk about them in a bit once we get to the culture select screen. They're interesting. I think they have potential to be really good sometimes, and other times they can be completely crappy. Okay, so we have a neighbor down here. Alright, I'm going to have to pillage the sanctuary because I'm not finding the things that I need to let me get up to the next era, and that will give me the growth star. Be really nice if I could... There we go. Okay, still need 1 more. Hoping I can find something with this guy. It'd be great to actually have the legacy trait, because this is a very late era up at this point. Okay, there's my growth star. This is a very bizarre territory here. Let me think about this. Yeah. So I'll probably turn this into the main city. I was trying to avoid that because I wanted to use influence to purchase the extractors when they became available. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be an option for me. Okay, I don't think I can afford to wait 2 turns to the legacy trait, unfortunately. See if I can find this with anyone else. I might go for a bit of like a forward settle play here. Says when you settle in the Neolithic, it is quite a bit cheaper than settling your second city in the next era. Or settling your second outpost, I should say, if they're kind of distributed like this. But it is going to be difficult to defend, right? So I'll need to be cognizant of that. Are the Mycenaeans still available? They could be a decent option here, actually. Egyptians could be interesting too. Could even, I mean, even the Hittites might be fine. Which I know sounds crazy, because I mean, the Hittites are not great, but Nubians could be good too. I do have a fair few luxuries nearby, and the Tassadi is quite good. Olmec, I'm not going to be big on this one. How about Joe? I mean, there are some opportunities for the Zhou here. I don't feel like they're really going to give me what I need this game, though. Bantu, I'm in pretty close proximity to 2 other players already, so I don't think that's the play. All right. Okay, that mammoth just got in my way. Alright, I'm not going to delay this. I can always move this outpost later using a little bit of influence if I need to do that. I want to get that down so I can just go ahead and select my culture. I don't really want to wait an extra turn for the legacy trait, so I'm going to hope I can find something with this guy or my other tribe. But if not, oh, nice, that was very lucky. Okay, so I got the knowledge star, which means I can select a legacy trait. So I'm going to go for the +1 science for population. Just makes the most sense most of the time. Science is the hardest to get at this point in the game. Production and food are much more easily acquired. I'm going to see if I can do this without them coming for me. We'll see. So now I actually have to decide who I want to play, though. And man, honestly, it's kind of a hard choice. I would like to play the Hittites at some point. On YouTube, that is. I have played them privately. It's just like, you get so far behind with the Hittites, it feels like. Your ancient era district is so important. Egyptians. I mean, there's definitely a case for the Egyptians here, right? Like, I have a lot of industry producing tiles down here too, right? Like, there's quite a few of them in my territories. Do I have access? I could have access to 2 horses for the Markabata. It's a possibility. You know, the Nubians would be great here too. This is honestly a hard choice. I'm going to save here in case I like change my mind and cut the recording. And actually I am going to cut the recording here while I decide and let you all know what I figure out. So I'll be back in a second. Alright folks, so I've been looking at our situation here and I think I've decided on the Mycenaeans. I have a couple neighbors and I do think the Egyptians would be good here too. But I would really like to take advantage of the Promakoi and perhaps play a little bit more aggressively. I mean, I am rethinking a little bit now, but I think ultimately, like in my main city here, I don't have a great spot for early pyramids. I mean, I can still like slam them right down there and be fine. They do give a little bit of influence, which is nice, but I think the Mycenaeans are going to be a little bit better suited for me here, so we'll go ahead and take the Mycenaeans. All right. So let's go ahead and kill this mammoth. Will give me a little bit of gold, which is useful. And I think... Okay, is that a bear? Yeah. Okay, well, goodbye, bear. So looking at the places that are available to me, like this territory here seems like my best city settle. And I'm going to want to claim that early. One of the issues I'm going to run into with Mycenaean up here is that I do not have a lot of food. So with that in mind, I actually think the way we want to play this, we're going to want calendar for the artisan's quarter, we're going to want city defense for the Promakoi, and then we're going to go into fishing for the harbor, because look at this harbor train right here. So one of the main issues if you have low population in the early game is that you don't get the civics that you need, and those civics are really, really important. Those early civics for creating outposts or attaching outposts, as well as increasing your influence generation. So we do need to get some early food here, or else we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Let's reinforce down there. Finish the turn inside there so you heal a bit. So I want to keep this area secure, so I'm going to keep a couple scouts kind of patrolling around. I'm going to send a scout up this way. I've noticed a lot of the curiosities tend to spawn in like these Arctic areas. And down here, Cyclopean Fortress. That one could be interesting once the territory gets attached. But I think right here is probably the best. So I'll get a little bit more industry, a +3 industry once I attach this territory, because it'll work that tile. It also defends a choke point. Up here defended a choke point too, but I don't want to sacrifice that much industry for that position. I need some industry right now. A little bit too long-term of a payoff on that one. Actually, why don't you come back so you can heal a bit? Oh, and there's another ebony there too. Yeah, this spot in here looks really nice if I can manage to get that, but I'll have to be a little aggressive. I might need to save up my influence just to get that one spot. Curiosity there. Oh shit, I reinforced, and then I forgot when you reinforce it stops the pillage, so we have to pillage that again, which is unfortunate. This is a new event, I think. As far as I can tell, there's no follow-up. It just modifies your ideology. So I'm going to go for collectivism, which will give me a bit of a bonus to industry. See what I get. Okay, little science and influence is pretty nice. And just wait there. Okay, there we go. Successful ransack. Search for more curiosities, and there are gemstones there. Fair few number of luxuries, which is nice. Especially having, if I can manage to secure down here with double ebony. I really do think I need to wait for enough influence for that, because otherwise I'm just not going to have the population and power that I need to do anything. Okay, there we go. Can get artisans' quarters. I'm going to buy that Cyclopean Fortress and go for Papyrus first. And the reason I want the Papyrus first is that even that small little boost to science is going to help me get population a lot faster. And then we'll go for ebony. I'm actually going to put my guy on... Let's see. Actually, with going from 1 to 2 turns doesn't matter here, right? So if I could get an extra population next turn, I suppose that increases my influence output a little bit, right? In terms of actual outputs, though, because this is all 6, right? So if I have a guy on science, I get 6 science this turn and 6 science next turn while I wait for my population. If I put my guy on food, I lose that 6 science this turn, but get double the science next turn if I put them both there. So in terms of that output, it doesn't make a difference. But I will get an extra bit of influence a little bit faster, which I do need. So I'm going to put that guy as a farmer just for a turn, and then I'll move him back onto science. I do not usually use farmers pretty much at all. Most of the time they're pretty garbage, but in this circumstance for a couple turns, totally fine. There we go. Let's move you on to science. We'll move you on to industry. 9 turns until I lose population, which I can totally do. I can get Promakoi out or whatever in that time. Please give me influence. No, 40 gold. Not going to use my influence to purchase this stuff. Remember, I want to get this other territory claimed as fast as possible. So I do need that population. Okay, gonna buy that. And I'm fine with putting everyone on science now. I need to rush for fishing to get my food output up. Nice, I got a free warrior. That's going to be very useful, actually. So this warrior is, I can upgrade them to a Promakoi once I have that tech for a little bit of gold. But also it's going to save me from having to spend a population producing it, which is kind of the important part here, to be honest. Oh. Should have used him for that. That's okay. Okay, I have my civics. Excellent. All right, so I need +5 influence on main plaza, and I need the reduced create outpost cost. So that reduces it to 87 influence to claim this territory, which is excellent. Okay. Have some bad guys that spawned here. Can wait. Okay, let's grab that. Oh, there's another one there. I'm going to use my scout for that one. I need to get this guy upgraded. All right, so yes, I do get more down here, but this is on high ground, which I like. I like having high ground. So I'm going to go ahead and put my city center there. And Mycenaean. Okay. Let's get a Promakoi or 2, honestly. I'm going to disband this guy once this scout here. Yep, disband, thank you. Okay, army composition. You're gonna go for the +1 combat strength on units. It does spend my influence, but I want the combat strength. And also, it's going to give me a little bit of extra influence on my Cyclopean Fortress. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of camp out with this scout here, because when these sort of independent people spawn in, they will often spawn with 0 population, which means you can just literally walk right into the city. And take it for free. So I'm going to hang out there. Go ahead and upgrade this guy. Grab that. Now this will be another territory that I need to claim as well if I want to make an effective city, I think. Oh, nice. And just keep collecting these curiosities. Like, the curiosities are actually really important in the early game. You should try to pick up as many as possible. wants this. Independent peoples. I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. That's not something worth investing my influence in at the moment. I need my influence for other things. All right, what's on the menu next? 9 turns until fishing. Let's put you on science, reduce that to 5 turns. And lumberyard would be useful here. And you can actually see the preview now, right, of the effect of the things you're getting. So I can see from the lumberyard, kind of down at the bottom, gains in the city, +9 industry from the lumberyard, which is good. I could also get +9 industry from just having a regular quarter. Now I will lose a little bit of food putting a maker's quarter there. Let me think about what else I could do here. I could go full on Promiscuous spam. I'd really like to have another attached outpost here. I think I'm going to go for a maker's quarter though, and we'll put it right here. I do lose a little bit of industry, but there's a potential for me to get a lot of food from the river tiles later. So I think that potential is enough for me to want to avoid that for now. All right, and over here, I'm actually going to go ahead and influence purchase that porcelain. I do need a little bit of gold. I have a bunch of little armies running around, which is draining my gold, so that should help me a little bit. Okay, and yeah, I think up here makes sense. Do it right there. So once I attach, I'll get a little bit more production from that tile, because that will work all the surrounding tiles. And then the Cyclopean Fortress will probably like go down here somewhere, and that'll serve as a decent kind of forward spawn point. I want to deal with this as soon as possible. It's not a good city location, even if I could get it for free. And it's going to spawn units that I don't want to deal with. Okay, let's get this down. Okay, this player is going on a claiming spree, it seems. 3 turns until I can hopefully turn that into a city. I don't really need gold. I'm not going to get a lot of value out of +2% money on a city right now. So I'm just going to ignore that luxury for the time being. Okay, they're attacking me. Should be able to deal with this. They will have some high ground here that I'll have to deal with. Okay, no problem. Promiscuous are pretty good, thankfully. It is the reason you... Well, one of the reasons you picked the Mycenaeans, at least. Alright. Okay, unfortunately Nock has a population there, because they did start with quite a bit of river. So won't be able to run in with just a scout. Too bad. Would have been nice to get a free city. Now, something you have to keep in mind with those situations, though, is like, yes, you can get a free city, but every city you get is also going to increase the cost of turning one of your outposts into a city, right? So this becomes like 510 influence for your 3rd city, I think. So sometimes it's not always beneficial to just walk right in if you have one spot that you really need a city in. All right. Let's go for writing. Just because that's a competitive deed, and I would like to get my science up. And +11 food sounds pretty good to me. Who are you? Babylonians. Ooh, okay. Babylonians can be tough. So early on, they're not too bad. I'm a little bit delayed in dealing with them. I'm already at turn 30. The thing is they're going to have swordsmen by the time I'm even thinking about attacking them. Let's go back on industry. Let's attach right here. We will want that Cyclopean Fortress as well. I'm going to put these guys on auto explore, I think. Okay. Let's see. Okay, ebony is good. We don't really care about saffron. We can hard build that later. Ebony is going to be very beneficial for us right now, though. You know what? I don't feel like taking that. I'm pretty low on health with these guys. Let's get, we'll get those guys reinforced, and then we should be good. And we'll bring the archers over as well. Okay. Harbor next. Seems okay to me. And then we're saving up influence to get a second city here. Alright, there we go. Should be an easily winnable battle. Put my high health guy in front, and hopefully he absorbs both the hits here. Perfect. Get some adjacency. There we go. Alright, I'm going to have to come back into my territory to heal up. Which is a little difficult. I'm going to go for the +6 faith on main plaza. I don't really have a lot of attached outposts and probably won't for a while. Let's keep going along the Liberty tree. +5 or -5 stability is really not difficult for me to deal with. 2 warriors there. Okay, they might be coming for my outpost. Might be able to hold on to it given its location. There is, right, I do have high ground, and they have to go over a river to attack up the high ground. So we'll put my scouts on there and hope they can do enough. These are all moving in directions I don't want them to go. Go for father or mother, I guess. Order versus progress axis does not really matter early on, so I'm not too fussed about that one. Can I buy that? Yes, thank you. Okay, they're definitely ahead of me on the faith game at the moment. Let's get these guys healing. So we'll need 2 more turns, it seems, to turn this into a city. Very slow start. Unfortunately, kind of how it was always going to be, given the terrain. Alright, there we go. Get that city. Yeah, fortress up here seems fine. And get 1 on science. We'll go on expert policy like this, but we're going to put 1 on science there. And I think we just attach right away. Yeah, another fortress there seems fine. 18 production is pretty good. Alright, let's start moving these guys. Boost my research. Nice. So that's writing. Looks like someone beat me to it because I didn't get the world deed, but it's just how it is sometimes. Alright. I forgot about the pottery workshop. Let's get that first. Pottery workshop is typically going to be your priority in the early game. Let's see. Is that really what I need right now? I have 92 industry, which is pretty good early game. Fishery still only gives me +3 food, which is not great. $13 industry from the lumberyard is pretty good. We'll get that. We'll get a house of scribes as well, because we do need that eventually. Go ahead and pick that up there. Minus 50% higher army cost. Does give me... I really want the combat strength, though. I'm going to refuse this, and the reason I can afford to do this early in the game is because I'm the Mycenaeans. If I were any other culture, really, I don't know if I could do that. Okay, and they have swordsmen already. And they're attacking me. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. How's my terrain? I think I can handle this. Archers should obviously not be there. Or actually they should be there, I think. No, can they get up there? Yeah, I think they can. Here's the thing, is these scout riders can get to my archers no matter where I deploy. So I think I want to deploy them over here, okay? So here's what will happen. If I deploy them here, the scout riders are going to give me the runaround all the way up this way, and I'll only be able to attack them back like onto high ground, right? Like with one single unit. If I put them over here, I can kind of gang up on them with multiple units, and I can move my archer back over here and another unit and reclaim the high ground. So I think I want to bait the scout riders to come around this way. Yeah, like that. Okay. So my archers are definitely in danger. I'd even say it is likely they die. Please kill him. Ugh, that sucks. We have to take some risks this combat, so I'm gonna... Why do I not get a rear attack? That is clearly a rear attack. Okay, well, let's kill the archers. Yeah, this is the thing with the Babylonians. This is why I do not like fighting them. Okay. I lost an archer, which is fine. I think I have to go full, no, I still need fire support. Let's buy that fortress. Start working on another army in here, honestly. I'm going to go ahead and disband one of these guys. Yeah. Go with 3 Promakoi. We'll disband that scout in a second. There we go. Make sure these guys come back and heal. Stop doing this to me. I do not want your reduced unit industry cost. Thank you. I want extra combat strength. We'll want flood irrigation in here for sure. And they're really claiming a lot of territory. Do you have any grievances? Yeah. We'll have to go for Sapar first, I think. It's going to be less defended. Oh wow, we don't have organized warfare yet even. Come on, get inside. Next turn I'll pay to heal and then kind of have them head back out again. Flood irrigation gives me +8 food. That's not too bad. Do you need more food in this city? we really need to get a holy site going too. Get it like down here somewhere, or like way out over here. That's fine. Do the Cyclopean Fortress first, but we do need to push back on some of that stuff. Okay, reduced unit cost. Wish I had gotten that a little bit earlier. We still, let's move people onto science. Going to buy that House of Scribes. Still have a few turns for organized warfare, but let's get a couple more Promiquae. I'm going to need a whole bunch of them to deal with the Babylonians. Pretty far behind on fame at the moment, which makes sense given my starting location. It's going to be a difficult start no matter what, I think. I'm going to keep these guys here as a garrison, basically. Let's work on these Promiquae first. Phoenicians, huh? Yeah, we'll trade. Napata. Interesting. Okay, science osmosis. I might, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's grab that because that's going to give me a little bit of extra combat strength from the ideology. Let's go ahead and drop that right there. I can move it later if I need. I don't think there's a compelling reason to move it somewhere. And the main reason I want to do that is so I can get another fortress in here. I'm actually going to put it right there. I kind of like it being on that high ground position. We'll just finish the flood irrigation first. Okay, someone's in the classical. Can't afford any of their stuff. I need to figure out who Brown is. Send some guys over there. That is definitely a city that is ripe for me to attack at some point. Okay, let's position some units. I'm going to go ahead and refuse those demands because their war support can't really get any higher than it already is. Been pretty bad about claiming territory this game. Gimme. Are they still the Babylonians? Yeah. I'm worried for when they go up to the next era because they'll have instant access to whatever their emblematic unit is for whichever culture they choose to pick. Don't really need the luxuries at the moment. Okay, someone's taken the Achaemenids, Morians, and the Axumites. All right. Garamantes might actually be viable here. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. I'm not sure where we're going quite yet. Okay, there's that. I'll just accept. It's fine. No negative consequences there. Okay, who are you? The Nubians. Okay. We may be involved in a dual war here. Okay, so next up we're going to go for masonry for stoneworks for what are hopefully obvious reasons. That'll get me to my 3 scientist stars. Spawn the archers there. We'll also get a Promiquae to go with it. No. Because we want to war you. Now the Morians, yes. I will take a non-aggression pact with them, honestly. They're pretty powerful at the moment. I think they're the fame leader? Close. I'm at the bottom at the moment. And Mycenaean can help work on the obelisk. Okay, guess I'm declaring war right now. Let's get you guys back to Gnosis here. I should be able to deal with Sapar with these two armies. Definitely manual battle. Nice. Okay, so I'll be able to get my archers up onto the high ground here, and it does look like they have a way to get up there as well, so I'm going to make sure I send a Promecoy along with them. And the rest are just going to hang out down here. Can I get a rear there? Yes, so we'll take that rear attack. Move these archers up here. Let's actually get you in the city. So that's kind of hampering my ability to move around at the moment. I'm going to leave this spot open, I think. Because if they move forward, then I can get more attacks on them. I don't think they'll move forward, but it's a possibility. Okay, while they're thinking, let's see what else is going on. Army wages. Don't really care about that, to be honest. Stop giving me that. I hate that civic. Okay, they're going to suicide themselves. That's fine. It looks like I didn't need to send that Promecoy up here. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this. Then I should be able to get a rear attack, I think. No, maybe not. It's really inconsistent when you can get rear attacks, I feel like. Yeah, I'm going to let him attack me. There we go. And just finish him off with fire support. There we go. Alright. Alright, Mycenaean. No problem on stability here. I think what I'm going to start doing is filling this area with makers. So that's a pretty low low output makers quarter right there, but a lot of benefit. I'm going to get a lot of benefit from it later once I start getting some adjacency bonuses. I still have these guys running around. Let's come back to Gnosis. We can disband you. Whoa, now screwing up a bit there. Okay, let's heal you up. Come forward. I should be fine on the current health that I have on these units. Okay. So these are the reinforcements that I need to cut off. Don't care too much about a single scout rider. I'm going to defend my flanks. That's probably the most likely flank, I suppose. Yeah, make sure we kill that archer there. Looks like I'm not going to be able to stop them from reinforcing. I'm going to put that Promecoy there, kind of just to buffer against that scout rider coming down to murder me. And we're going to assume a more defensive posture here. I am a little bit worried about this guy getting isolated, so I'm going to bring him over there and give up that high ground position. Yeah, so I kind of figured that that would bait the scout riders over there. A little worried about this guy. Okay, let's cycle him down there. Move a high health unit up front. And we're going to focus down the swordsman. I'm just going to defend, because they are attacking me. And you have higher combat strength when your units are defending rather than attacking. Okay, focus the swords again. Very nice. Okay, can get him into the city. Okay, I shouldn't lose that Promakoi here. There we go. Oh, I thought I could kill him. I'm going to defend there. Okay. So get that Promakoi out on the next turn. Make sure he doesn't die. There's a militarist star. Still need 2 more units if I want to 3-star it. Nazca are new. I don't have any natural wonders, so not looking great. Greeks could be interesting. Celts could be good for me too, actually. I'm struggling a little bit with food at the moment. So it would be nice to get this territory down here attached, but it is what it is. Okay, let's go for the wheel. Retreat you all the way back. Don't want to get in that city spot because that is low ground relative to the swordsman. Let's see what he does. Yeah, I figured he'd go there. Barely survived, but all that matters is that I did survive. Cultural blessing. So I want the extra combat strength on units. So I'm gonna go for that one. And there's another city up here. That's probably one that I will sack. Could I try to go for Babylon? Let's scout it out. Let's get that flood irrigation. And let's get another little army in here just to support. And over in Mycenaean, plus 30 industry from stoneworks. Hell yes. Probably want animal barns too. Doesn't look like I'm going to be getting any wonders this game, which is fine. It's just how it goes sometimes. Well, at least not any early wonders. Let's see. I think this side looks better to attack it from if I'm going to attack Babylon, because there's not as much river. Like, it's still low ground, but over here I'm going to run into a problem with a ton of river trying to attack. Honestly, could probably use another archer, but it looks like I'm tied up with other things at the moment. Okay, let's actually get some people on science. I need that one for the stoneworks. Let's prioritize science here. Okay, struggling a little bit with faith. Trade everything. No. I do want your die, though. Thank you. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, so the reason I thought this was interesting is because those were units that would be tied up that they wouldn't be able to use in a siege. But since they had other units available, that didn't matter. So I could have like taken that fight and kind of just tried to keep their units in that battle for as long as possible, right? Suppose I don't have this territory claimed. Are they? Okay. Spawn it on the city center. I need to make sure I have units available for that combat if they are going to attack me. I should be fine with 3 Promakoi. Yeah. We'll bring these reinforcements in back here. Manual battle. And yeah, that looks fine. What's the event here? Okay, overproductive, prosperous, or bountiful. Honestly, the +5 food could be useful. I'm gonna go for that +5 food. I'm not really struggling with industry at all. Okay, make sure we get that chariot knocked out. Don't really want to be on that tile. All right, that's just river. They're just gonna do a ton of damage to me. Oh, I could have gone down there. That was stupid of me. I thought I was, shoot. I thought that tile was one I could not cross, but I could have, and I probably could have killed that archer. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. So make sure you pay very close attention to the train, because otherwise you'll screw things up like I did. Okay, let's pull you back. Get a rear attack there. Rear attack there. Finish them off. Okay. So I am on river, but I am on high ground relative to the swords as well. So we'll shoot first to reduce their combat strength a little bit, hopefully, if I get lucky. And then we'll take those 2 attacks. There we go. Okay. Just gonna retreat back and forth forever with those 2, apparently. I'll just drop it right there, it doesn't matter. And go ahead and attach that. And the reason I want to do that is because I do need to pick another culture very soon. But I would like to get another fortress up. I'm going to go right there because that's a choke point that I have. So as long as we get 1 turn of production in that, we'll be fine. Mycenaean. Yeah, let's start getting some more Maker's Quarters. Forgot I assaulted up here, honestly. But this will be a pretty easy battle. Battering ram. Apparently, I had been assaulting this for multiple turns and just did not attack. There we go. How are we doing? Okay, their war support is declining, but it has definitely not collapsed by any means. I'm going to send a single unit to pillage that because I want the rest of these to head towards Babylon in a place where they'll actually be useful. Okay, so you have a turn of production in the fortress there. We can go ahead and finish that. Honestly, that'll be pretty useful for sieging Babylon, I think. Just going to camp out. Take 10 turns to pillage that, but that is totally fine. Turns out this ancient era is going to be a bit of a longer episode. Okay, 1 more turn till we've finished all the tech. So now is really when we want to go up to the next era. Ooh, but I think I get a population star if I wait one turn. But then I do lose a turn of science. I think it's worth it for that fame. I'm going to lose a turn of science for a little bit of extra fame. It's not a big deal. Okay. More industry, maybe? Yeah, I think that seems fine. I do like having a fair bit of industry. Okay, let's buy the fortress. Let's get an archer. And we'll go up to the next era. Who's still available? Okay, most of the cultures I would have wanted to pick are gone. So I kind of have the leftovers here. Carthaginians, really not an option for me. Goths, I mean, Gothic cavalry is good, but I don't have the horses. Oh, they have a lot of stuff I can buy. I do think the Garamantes seem to make the most sense here. I think I have at least a few locations where their emblematic quarter makes sense. I haven't played them before because, I kind of had that period of time for a few months where I wasn't able to play. Sterile terrain. It's one food per adjacent rocky field and per adjacent stony field. This is a tough choice, honestly. Like, I could go for, like, the Romans. Obviously, people, want to see the Nazca, being that they're new and all. Oh, hello. There's another army here. Let's delay this discussion for us just a second. Okay, we'll wait there. But, I don't have a way to make use of them at the moment. Garamantes. So, like, in here would be good. Over here, kind of in this area a little bit. And obviously up here. Up here, too, if I get that. Okay. Yeah, I think they make the most sense. And it does give me a classical era ranged unit as well. I'm struggling on faith, but I don't know if there's anything I can do about it at the moment. Tough choices. Praetorians are obviously very good. I think after that, I just need to, like, build up. I just think these give me, like, none of these choices are really ones I would have picked. I think the Garamantes give me the best options for making sure I can continue to grow. So that's what I'm going to go with. Make sure we get that saffron because that is going to become relevant very quickly here. Okay, let's end the turn. I would like to wrap up this conflict, but I think it's going to have to wait for the next episode here. So I appreciate you all tuning in. I forgot to set the spawn point here. Appreciate you all tuning in for this, and hope to see you soon in the next one, where we'll wrap up this fight against the Greeks. So better kill them fast, because I really don't want to deal with hoplites. So see you then.